I'm the passenger. I needed money. Brian has a sense of humor. Brian and I are driving to Chestermere to meet up with a guy to pick up an Oldsmobile Rocket 350 that I found online, Facebook Marketplace. $250 and it comes with a free engine stand, but is bolt-in compatible for the old 307 in the Cadillac. So for $250 I felt couldn't turn that down. So we're just heading home. We picked up the engine, which is this guy. This is my new engine stand. $250 for the whole lot. So this is the 350 Olds. It's a 5.7 litre. And it's got the Dualist jet, whatever. It's a Rochester carb, but this guy should be bolt compatible. It's got plenty of leaking going on here. While I'm waiting for Brian, I thought I'd just pull this out and check it out. There's even still oil in it, so that's good. Oh, that's a mouse poo as well. Perfect. So this is the new engine. It's a 72 Olds Rocket. It's the 2-barrel version, which is the 160 horsepower one. And it does have 7A heads. So they're the good flowing ones. They're not the smog heads, and they've got the hardened valve seats. So it won't need any work to actually work with unleaded gas. But I literally just got this off the truck. And now it's sitting here, so I'm gonna have a look if it's actually gonna roll over. Just by sticking this wrench in. And ooh. The answer is yes. So that's an up. It rolls over, so it's not seized. So the first thing is I'm gonna dope these bolts so that they'll come out without just exploding. Blaster, whatever it's called. Oh yeah, that stuff's thick and orange. That's good. That's how you know it's gonna work. It's thick and orange, see that? I'm gonna get to work with this, removing all of this, which looks like burnt chicken. What is an A casting? 72 head. So it's one of the gooder heads. Anyway, we're gonna pull out the spark plugs and have a look what they look like. Because this should tell us if the engine's actually healthy or what. So look at that one. See it? That looks good. No one gives a shit what I'm doing. Everyone wants to see spark plugs. See? That one looks good too.
Ooh.
Time saving. Yeah. See?
Good. Okay.
See, that one's good too. See that one? That's pretty good too. Well, no, I'm pulling out the spark plugs so that we can assess the condition of the engine before opening it up. Mm-hmm. Which is, so far, everything is good. See, that one's good too. Yeah, when I pulled the plugs out of that, a couple of them were finger tight, like literally just finger tight. And lucky last. That's a freeze plug, and then come over here, that's a freeze plug, then come over here, and this is a big open hole. So this freeze plug's missing, so all of the coolant would have just puked out of that. And I bet you that's why whatever this was in got parked, because it just threw up all of its coolant and it would never hold anymore because there's a huge hole right in the side of the block from the freeze plug coming out. Hopefully when we open it up it doesn't show that they were driving it around missing all of the coolant, because then the inside of it will look like this.
Oh, great.
This.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will be as smooth as...
It's moving.
See that?
Yeah.
Lift the whole thing out. And literally we're not keeping any of that.
Okay.
And actually, I'll show you why. Bring the camera over and look down here. Because, can you see that? There's only 2 throats inside of this carburetor. This is the 2-barrel version of the Quadrajet. They call this a dualist or something. Anyway, this is the single biggest holdback for that engine making any degree of power whatsoever. And see this exploded gasket here, like this seal?
Yeah.
That's why it was puking out oil everywhere. This stuff is what I was hoping we wouldn't find. Because that's what the oil does when the engine runs too hot. But we'll know more once we take the valve covers off and look inside. So the 307 that we're taking out, it's about that big.
Big difference.
It's like this, perfectly square. So we're gaining all that swept volume just by putting these heads into the car. Because then we have good light. So is that on?
Yep.
So this is the turkey tray, and this is the burnt oil on the turkey tray, which mates up to these rather, like that is pretty hard. And then if you come over this side and have a look, it's got corrosion happening in here. And yeah, so we're gonna clean all of this shit out. See at the back here it was getting especially hot. And up the front here as well, it was getting hot. I've never seen a sump plug that goes straight down and is centered in the middle of the pan either. There goes your oil. Yeah, that's all right. I'll just twist this off my hand. Just like that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see these dish top pistons? That's what makes this a low compression engine. So this is where we got to with it last night in the stripping, is we got the heads off, and it doesn't actually look that bad inside of the bores. Let's do that. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. So I found something else. You can see that this rust plug. Oh, sorry, this frost plug's all rusted through as well. The oil pan should lift off like that. Now we get to see what it actually looks like inside. So that's been dented in at some point. Screwdriver. Yeah. All that is sludge. And it's got a metallic sheen to it. See how it's metallic?
Yep.
Can you actually see that?
I can.
So if you're wondering where the bore went, it went right there. I don't know, maybe this is some stuff someone put in to prevent leaks. Like, you know, that stop leak stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, come over here and like get right in the pan. Just whatever it is. I don't think this is just shaved off metal filings.
No, it's too smooth.
Yeah. It's almost the consistency of silicone. Yeah, that's interesting. And this doesn't look horrible. There's a nice change. So I'll show you how to do an external inspection. Isn't this fun? You get to learn with YouTube people. Mm-hmm. So if you actually just wipe the oil off these guys, because this is just oil colored, right? If it had spun a bearing, and these would overheat, and they would change color and be blue and burnt looking, but they're not. There it is. Yeah. So amazing but true. It looks like it was not cooked. Let's check this out. Whatever that silver stuff was, it's also packed in here. I think that whoever had this engine had started leaking out of these freeze plugs and tried fixing it, and they poured the radiator seal into the crankcase, not understanding that the crankcase holds oil and not water. So yeah, this thing needs cleaning all the way through now. Yep, so that is covered in radiator stop leak because some ding dong figured that this was leaking, so you put radiator stop leak inside the crankcase. We've been finding this gloop inside of everything. The grand sum of today's work is probably going to keep these manifolds, probably going to keep these valve covers, probably going to keep this oil pan. I cleaned a bunch of garbage out of it, but it's got a dent in it. The heads are good. I'm happy about the heads. The crank's wrapped up in here, and it seemed okay too. The cam, I don't know if you can see all that. And there's lots of high spots and weird wear marks on it. Over in the back there is where the block is, and the block definitely needs some attention. Just trying to figure out if it's within dingle ball range or if I should actually take it to a machine shop. Kind of don't want to go to all this effort and then have it just, you know, burn oil. But anyway, that's the weekend done, so back to work tomorrow to earn the money to finish this job.